नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यते सदारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, welcome you all devotees. Today we will be having live darshan of Madurai and Srivilliputtur. Madurai is famous for Meenakshi Amman temple and also several Vishnu temples as well. In Madurai, it is the famous Meenakshi Amman temple which attracts pilgrims in several thousands every day. And you are having the darshan of the wonderful Madurai Meenakshi Amman temple. The glory of this temple is that this temple is also visited by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Meenakshi Amman, she is none other than Parvati Devi. She is very attractive with fishy eyes. There was a king who was named as Malayadvaja, who was ruling this kingdom. And at that time, he didn't have any issues. So he wanted to have a child, and therefore he did a sacrifice. So when he was performing sacrifice along with his wife, Kanchanamala, then immediately at the middle of the sacrifice, there appeared a 3-year-old baby girl. She was very, very attractive. She immediately rose up from the flames, and then she started to sit on the lap of the wife of Malayadvaja king, and she is known as Kanchanamala. And the beauty of this girl is that she was born with the 3 breasts. Actually, the king wanted to have a son. Since the girl has been born with 3 breasts, so he was a little bit worried on that because naturally he has to find a suitable husband. At that time, a sky voice, it spoke loudly to him. When she finds suitable husband for her, then immediately the 3rd breast will disappear. So this is the Sthala Puran mentioned for the appearance of Meenakshi Amman at Madurai. And we can also see that there was a farmer called as Dhananjaya. So when he was roaming in the forest, he could see Indra worshipping Shivalinga, that is Swayambhu, that we will be seeing in the coming slides. And he informed this message to his king, and the king identified that place. Then they built a wonderful temple, and that temple is known as the Sundareshwara. Here, the goddess is known as Meenakshi Amman, and the presiding deity is Sundareshwar. Lord Chaitanya visited this wonderful temple of Madurai. You can see the view of Madurai temple. So beautifully built, wonderful architecture, Dravidian style. You can see almost 12 gopuras, out of which the 5 entrance is prominent, and we also have 9 more small entrance also. So the legend says that the 5 main entrance, it represents the human body. Like we have eyes, nose, ear, mouth. So like that, the eyesight, then the nostril with which we used to smell, then the taste, hearing sound, as well as the touching sensation. So all these 5 gates is depicted by the 5 big entrance of this Madurai Meenakshi Amman temple. And we have still more 9 small entrance also. Every human form has 9 holes in it. 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, 2 ears, totally 6. The 7th one is the mouth. 8th one is the urethra, and the 9th one is the anus. So it has been built in such a way, not only in Dravidian style, but also in a human form. So you are viewing this beautiful temple with 12 gopuras. The South Indian temples are famous for Raja Gopuram. You can see many towers, and also the Kalash, the entrance, and how beautifully it is constructed, the design. Madurai is always ruled by Pandya kings. So generally, as told earlier, the king, his main occupation is building the temples, engaging the people of the local town in various devotional service, and people used to reside surrounding the temple, and that's how a town gets developed. And all the streets in Madurai, they are built so wonderfully, like a concentric circle. And the beautiful temple which you are witnessing now, it is located like a hole of the lotus, the middle of the lotus. Such is the beauty of this famous Madurai Meenakshi Amman temple. And this temple attracts large number of pilgrims every day. And you can see the beautiful temple, how naturally it was built. At that time, it was a complete forest. And later, the residential and other apartments started to develop. But every town, we should know that it gets primarily developed because of a huge Shiva temple or a Vishnu temple. So people come to reside, because there is a proverb which says that wherever there is a temple, we have to reside there, because knowingly or unknowingly, we will be circumambulating the temple, and in that way, we will be accumulating unknown sukriti. I mean, the devotional service of circumambulating the temple, circumambulating the Lord. So Madurai Meenakshi Amman temple has its own unique architecture, design, and the famous Madurai. Whenever people say Madurai, they just ask, have you visited Madurai Meenakshi Amman temple? And so attractive is the form of Meenakshi Amman. She is very, very beautiful. She has the fragrance as well as the appearance of an emerald. Emerald means, which we used to call it as Maragadam. That's why she is also called as Maragadavalli, like a greenish form. So after the death of her father, Meenakshi Amman, she was ruling the kingdom. In local tradition, they used to say, every grahastha, if he gets married, they just used to ask in a joking way, is your house Madurai or Chidambaram Nadraj? It means Madurai Meenakshi or Chidambaram Nadraj, meaning to ask that whose influence is dominating in your home. Like Meenakshi is dominating Madurai, or Nadarajar is dominating in Chidambaram. So this Madurai temple is famous for the ruling of Parvati Devi. All the citizens were naturally attracted by her divine qualities. So I know that you are all keen to know what is the divine pastime after seeing this wonderful image. Parvati Devi, Meenakshi Amman, she was ruling Madurai, and she was enthroned, and she became like a thick Vijayi. She can conquer the kingdom, expand her kingdom, and in that way, lovingly, people were having tremendous faith on Parvati Devi. And once Parvati Devi wanted to conquer Kailash, so naturally she went along with her party soldiers, and they all started to attack Kailash. And the generals, the soldiers who were guarding Kailash, they were naturally defeated. And Shiva naturally came forward to fight. At that time, seeing the divine sight of Lord Shiva, immediately a mood of shyness gripped the heart of Parvati Devi, and immediately her third breast disappeared. And she could understand that I have seen my husband. And then she conveyed her divine love feelings to Shiva. Shiva told that I will definitely marry you, but after 8 days. You better go to your kingdom. You rule the kingdom peacefully. I will come there after 8 days. And definitely, I will marry you. Hearing this message from Lord Shiva, Parvati Devi, she had a feeling of love and also tremendous amount of shyness. And she went back. She was constantly meditating about Lord Shiva. And Shiva came there along with his party men. Party men means it is indicated that Shiva came with one person called as Gundodara. And naturally, when a marriage takes place, naturally the bridegroom comes with many of his paraphernalia, relatives, and there will be a grand reception. It also increases the prestige of the bride family. So here, seeing only Lord Shiva coming with one person, Gundodara, then naturally Parvati, she was a little bit perplexed. She naturally questioned Lord Shiva. If you have come with many of your paraphernalia and many arrangements for your stay, as well as for all of your party men, we have cooked so many wonderful, delicious dishes, and see the decoration, and you have come alone. Then Shiva told to Parvati, see, if you can see, you can satisfy this one man known as Gundodara. And Gundodara, he had a lot of appetite. So whatever the cooks cooked with all delicious items, they were all brought in, and Gundodara started to eat. After completing all the food items, he started to ask still more, still more. And at that time, still they cooked many items and it was served, and still he was demanding the same. And naturally he asked still more. So this created some sort of, we can say, confusion and shock. This one person, Gundodara, he was able to eat food of several lakhs of people. And then they could understand he is not an ordinary person. He had so much appetite. Then naturally, whatever the well water was there in Madurai, that was also brought in huge earthen pots. That was also completely drunk by Gundodara. And he still demanded more water. So they were completely astonished what to do further. And at that time, it was told to them that they have to bring the water of Kritamala, which is the famous Vaigai river. And after drinking Vaigai river, his complete thirst and appetite it disappeared. And that is the beauty of Kritamala river, the famous Vaigai river, which flows in Madurai. So we can understand Lord Chaitanya, he bathed in river Kritamala Vaigai when he came to Madurai. So such is the beauty of this wonderful river Kritamala Vaigai. In one way, it is non-different from Ganga. It is so purifying. So the divine pastimes of Lord Shiva and Parvati Devi happened like this. After marrying Parvati Devi continues to be the epicenter in Madurai. And as we all know that we have to approach the Lordship through the internal potency. Like we say, Sita Rama, Lakshmi Narayana, Radha Krishna. Like that. Meenakshi Sundaram. Meenakshi represents Parvati Devi and Sundaram represents Lord Shiva. He is called as a Sundareshwar. Sundar means so beautiful. Meenakshi is also so beautiful. Her body is in greenish complexion, and also fishy eyes, fishy lotus eyes. Everyone gets attracted by the wonderful bodily beauty of Parvati Devi. And that's why she is naturally dear to all the residents of Madurai town. Everyone is naturally a devotee of Parvati Devi, the supreme Vaishnavi, who is the eternal consort of Lord Shiva. So like this, many pastimes happened. In Tamil, they call it as Thiruvilayadal pastimes. Like in Vaishnava Sampradaya, many of us would have heard about the 12 Alvars. They are so exalted. Like that for Saivite, there are 63 Nayanmar who are completely dedicated in the service of Parvati Devi and Lord Shiva. There are many pastimes related to Lord Shiva and Parvati at Madurai. It is famously composed as a Thiruvilayadal pastime. It is very famous in South India, Thiruvilayadal pastime. Lord Shiva and Parvati, they had two wonderful divine sons. One is Kartikeya, the second one is Vinayaka, Ganesh. Lord Shiva, he also participated in Lord Chaitanya's pastime as Advaita Acharya. Parvati Devi, we all know that she meditated in the holy island of Simantadweep, taking darshan of Lord Chaitanya. Seeing her husband, Lord Shiva, was dancing ecstatically, she also had darshan of Lord Chaitanya. And these two sons, Kartikeya, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, among the fighting general, I am Kartikeya. Kartikeya came as Achyuta, as the divine son of Advaita Acharya. And Ganesh, Vinayaka, he appeared as Gopala in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastime. And one famous pastime which happened at Jagannath Puri, at Gundicha temple, is that Ganesha, Gopala was fainted completely. Then when Lord Chaitanya came and then did Nama Sankirtan, and then when he touched his divine hands at the body of Gopala, then immediately he came out of his ecstasy. So much is the deep absorption of Kartikeya and Vinayaka in the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. And Lord Chaitanya visited this Meenakshi Sundareshwara temple at Madurai. Every temple Lord Chaitanya visited, he used to do ecstatic dance, Nama Sankirtan. Many people would gather there, see the wonderful dance of Lord Chaitanya. Not only it is ecstatic, his bodily beauty, his effulgence, his chanting of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, attracting the public, and then imbibing the mood to all of those audience who are assembled there. This is the special pastime. And Lord Chaitanya, he visited all the major Shiva temples in South India. The Mallikarjuna Shiva at Sri Shailam. Then he visited Kalahasti. Then he visited Egambareshwara at Kanchipuram. Then he visited Vedagirishwara temple at Tirukazhukundram. Visited Virthagirishwara temple at Virda. Lord Chaitanya also visited Kumbhakareshwara temple at Kumbakonam. Lord Chaitanya also visited Jambukareshwara temple at Srirangam. And he also visited the wonderful Meenakshi Amman temple at Madurai. And we can see that Lord Chaitanya was completely immersed whenever he visited Lord Shiva's temple. Lord Shiva is so much exalted that Lord Chaitanya, he wanted to have association with his own expanded form. So we can understand the intimate, deep relationship between Lord Chaitanya and Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva, he is also transcendental. And here we can see in the earthly planet, more than the temples of Lord Vishnu, there are more temples of Lord Shiva. Why? Because Lord Vishnu wants to see that his greatest devotee, Lord Shiva, is worshipped more gorgeously than his own personal worship. So such is the intimate, deep, loving relationship between Lord Vishnu and Lord Shiva. So we have to understand all these facts. And in that way, we can get the blessings of Lord Shiva and the Parvati Devi to advance in our spiritual life. They are very keen and eager if they see a Vaishnava approaching them, chanting the holy name and dancing in ecstasy. So this is the wonderful darshan of Meenakshi Sundareshwara. You can have a beautiful darshan of Meenakshi Amman, the greenish form, emerald. She is also called as Maragadavalli, and also the Sundareshwara, Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva, as told earlier, he is a Suyambhu Linga, self-manifested. This deity was personally worshipped by Indradev, the chief of the demigods. And this was personally witnessed by a farmer called as Dhananjaya, and he reported this incident to his king. And then later a wonderful temple was built here. So much of pastimes are here that Lord Shiva and Parvati Devi, whatever they do, they attract the people, they bestow them with their costless mercy. And this area is called as Kadambavanam. Now actually it's a great city. Earlier it was a complete forest. In complete forest, the deities will manifest, then the worship will happen. After that, people will start to flock in more numbers, have darshan, and they take up their residence near the temple. Like that only Madurai town has developed. Earlier it was full of forest. It is called as Kadambavanam, full of Kadamba trees. And in each temple, there are many mandap, like Pudu Mandap, Vasanta Mandapam. There are many festivals and many pastimes, rituals takes place. And here you can see the Utsav deity, the wonderful Utsav deity. The Utsav deity is naturally taken in a procession. They come out, they bestow their mercy. And people throng in several thousands whenever there is a Utsav deity in their local holy town. And there are many myths and miracles which these deities have performed, increasing the faith of the ardent followers. And there are many incidents to establish this. The Utsav deity generally comes out, and we can see that how they are brought out, and the people worship the Utsav deities. Even still, we can see in many temples, whatever rituals we have in our home, like wedding ceremony and other nice festivals in our home, that is just only a replica of the festival that is happening in the temple. We can easily find these festivals which are so enchanting. So Lord Chaitanya, after visiting Srirangam, he came to Madurai. And Lord Chaitanya, immediately after his arrival at Madurai, he visited a local Brahmana's house. That Brahmana was known as Ramadasa Vipra. He was a good devotee from a Brahminical background. Generally, when Lord Chaitanya visits South India, he used to stay in a Brahmana's house. And there will be many invitations. He would say that whoever is Lakshadipati, I will naturally come to your home to take up my residence and take your food, your kind offering. So hearing this statement, the Brahmanas would get dejected, but he used to say, Lakshadipati means one whoever chants 1 lakh holy name of Lord Hari. And Lord Chaitanya, when he visited Madurai, so he happened to stay at the house of Ramadasa Vipra. The house of Ramadasa Vipra, Lord Chaitanya stayed there. There is an interesting pastime on that, which we will be seeing it. Now you are seeing about the Unjal Utsavam. Unjal means the swing festival. So in Vrindavan, we can see a lot of swing festival. The gopis are very expert. They will immediately build a swing using the branches of the tree. And they used to make wonderful arrangement for the sweet, loving dealing and pastimes of Radha Krishna. Like that, here in this temple, there is a wonderful swing festival called as Unjal Utsavam. And each festival, it will be conducted in a specific mandapa. There will be a lot of mandapa. Many temples for parking of the chariot, they used to call it as car chariot mandapa. And all these temples, they will be having elephants. Whenever a person enters into a temple, if he takes darshan of elephant, and if he enters into the temple, it not only increases the psychic effects of the mind, it is also more auspicious. And naturally, a divine mood comes, imbibing in our heart to offer our prayers to the Lordship. So we can understand a chariot mandapa, and then for keeping the elephant, they call it as elephant mandapa. And then for Unjal Utsavam, Vasanta Mandapam. Vasanta, spring season, is the king of all seasons. And we can see in that way how these festivals are wonderfully conducted, wonderfully decorated. Devotees, out of their kind love, kind offering, they participate in this wonderful festival of Meenakshi Sundareshwara. So generally, we know that Lord Shiva resides in each of his temple in linga form. And this linga at Madurai is very special because it is Suyambhu linga, self-manifested, personally worshipped by Indradev. And we can see that there are many types of lingas, Vayu linga, Agni linga, Akasa linga, and Rameshwaram, we can see that it's like made of earth. In order to increase the faith of the followers, and he is also very benevolent in awarding many types of benediction. Lord Shiva and Parvati, because he is called as Asutosh. Asutosh means one who is pleased very easily. He is very easily satisfied. But he is very eager to give love and devotion to Lord Vishnu. So as told earlier, there are many myths and miracles in this temple. And in the bottom, you can see a picture of Shivalinga. It is actually painted at the rooftop of the temple. And if a person happens to enter that arena, in whatever direction, I mean 360 degrees, wherever he puts himself and sees this Sivalinga painting upward, you can see a Sivalinga and there will be a bottom tout. You can see that actually the bottom tout is actually visible to you. Whether if you see from the eastern direction, western direction, northern direction, or southern direction. Below the Shivalinga, there is the bottom tout. Whenever they do Abhishekam, that comes out. That area, it will be visible to your eyes, whether you are in east, west, south, or north. This is one of the miracle. And a person, whomever he visits this temple, when he comes to this arena, and if he just raises his head above and then see the wonderful, beautiful carving and painting, he can immediately realize this. And these wonderful pictures and paintings, they are renovated every 12 years. And still we can see in those olden days, with what sort of mathematics, astronomical calculation, using those 64 arts, they were very wise. We can even say they were even much precise than the modern technology. And they made many myths and miracles. And even when you pass through many temples, many mandap, many areas, you can see a lot of small cave, because every temple, it used to have a cave with just carrying to the palace of the king. And now it is all closed, but still we can see many caves there. The sculpture, the architecture, the painting, and in each temple, like in Jagannath Puri, the main deity is Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra Devi, and Sudarshan Chakra. And we can see 30 small temples in the outer courtyard and in the inner chamber of the temple. Like that, in all temples in South India, there will be a predominating presiding deity called as Moolavar, who is fixed, as well as the Utsava deity, who comes out during the procession. And there will be small temples for Narasimha, for Ganesh, and for Amman, and in many forms. So like that, there will be many small temples. So when we enter inside the temple to take darshan and to come out, even if it is sparsely crowded, it will take at least 1 hour. Not only the structure is very vast, but also a lot of holy shrines are there. And that too, a person who has very interest in the architect designs and interested to know more about the insides of the temple, it takes minimum 2 hours to come out of the temple. So many things are there. So many wonders are there. And here you can now see the 1,000-pillar mandapa. In the night time also, it is shining effulgently. And also in the morning time also, you can see how glorious is this place. 1,000-pillar. Actually, when we count, it's 985, but it is told as 1,000-pillar mandap, which is so famous. You can say it's a unique nature of this temple. And some specific rituals also happens here in this 1,000-pillar mandapa. And each place, a special pastimes have taken place. And in order to remember those pastimes, some special festivals are also being conducted. So going inside of this 1,000-pillar mandapam and coming out, it will definitely take 25 minutes to 30 minutes, half an hour. And there will be some main altar also, where we can have darshan of many murtis. And next, we will be going into the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, which he enacted at Madurai. As told earlier, Lord Chaitanya, when he came to Madurai, he stayed at the house of Ramadasa Vipra. He was a Brahmana. Lord Chaitanya was very merciful. So he had the wonderful opportunity of serving Lord Chaitanya when he stayed at his home. Lord Chaitanya told to Ramadas Vipra, "Oh, my dear Brahmana, I am going to take holy dip in the holy river of Kritamala, Vaigai Nadi. Because this Vaigai Nadi, it has three tributaries. One is called as Suruli. The second one is Varaha Nadi. The third one, it is called as Battalakund. In the bottom foothill of Kodaikanal, there is a place called as Battalakund. Lord Chaitanya, after taking his bath at river Vaigai, then he came back home, where he stayed at the house of Ramadas Vipra. He asked to Ramadas Vipra, "Is my lunch ready?" Ramadas Vipra was completely immersed in the pastimes of Lord Ramachandra. So he told that, Mahaprabhu, we are now in the forest. At the time, it was only a forest. When Lord Chaitanya visited Madurai, it was not a town. It was completely surrounded by trees. And Ramadas Vipra told, "We are in the midst of the forest. So how can I get all the ingredients to cook? But I understand that Lakshmana has gone out to collect vegetables, fruits, as well as the roots of a tree. And once he collects those things and bring to our home, then there is a Sita Devi to cook. So no need to worry." Lord Chaitanya was completely satisfied with his answer, that he is completely absorbed and immersed in the pastimes of Ramachandra. Then by the divine mercy of Lord Chaitanya, he could understand that he didn't feed the guest who has come to his home. Then immediately out of Haribari, he made wonderful dishes and he offered his wonderful lunch dish afternoon at 3 o'clock. It was very late. It is mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And after that, Lord Chaitanya was very satisfied, accepting the humble offering of this local Brahmana, Ramadasa Vipra. Then he could see that Ramadas Vipra was crying continuously. Lord Chaitanya asked him, "What is the reason for your continuous cry? I don't understand." And Ramadas Vipra told that, "Since ever I have heard this pastime of Ravana kidnapping Sita, I could not sleep. How can that evil-minded Ravana touch my divine mother, Sita Devi?" Then Lord Chaitanya told to Ramadas Vipra, "You no need to worry for that. Have faith in my words. Mother Sita is not visible through material vision. So naturally, it is not possible to touch her with a material body. I can assure you that Ravana kidnapped only Maya Sita, not the real Sita. Real Sita cannot be touched by this demon, Ravana. So have faith in my words. Don't worry." So he was specified somewhat, the Ramadas Vipra, but still he wanted to have a conclusive answer for this. Lord Chaitanya, he understood the mindset of this local Brahmana, Ramadas Vipra, who was continuously crying, knowing that Ravana had kidnapped Sita, in the sense that actually Ravana had touched Sita Devi. Then after taking permission of Ramadasa Vipra, Lord Chaitanya went to Rameshwaram. Then in Rameshwaram, he had a holy dip at Agni Tirtha. He went to Dhanush Tirtha. Then he worshipped the famous Ramanatha Swami. And then he could see that the local Brahmanas at Rameswaram, they were reciting verses about Ravana kidnapping Sita Devi. And in that, in Kurma Purana, it was mentioned that Ravana could snatch only the illusory form of Sita and he could not touch the divine form of Sita Devi. And when Ravana appeared before Sita, Sita in her divine form vanished from the eyes of Ravana. And the form which she manifested is her illusory form. And Ravana could kidnap only that illusory form. And that illusory form, Ravana was able to kidnap. He took it to Lanka. At that time, Agni Dev, he gave complete protection to Sita Devi. And that's why it's mentioned that when Lord Ramachandra enacted this famous pastime of fire test, when a local person, he had an argument with his wife. She went outside and came late. At the time, that person was scolding his wife, saying that, I am not Lord Ram. I cannot accept you. Lord Ramachandra is very magnanimous, but I cannot accept you. So hearing this word, when Lord Ramachandra, he was wandering in his kingdom, then he immediately ordered for a fire test. At that time, what happened? The illusory form, it vanished, and Agnidev presented the real Sita to the divine hands of Lord Ram. And the same person who, in one way we can say, he was indirectly insulting Sita Devi. He took birth in Krishna's pastime as a washerman, and when Krishna demanded the good clothes, he refused to give. At that time, he was directly punished by Lord Krishna. In Lord Ramachandra pastime, Lord Ramachandra enacted this pastime of Rama Rajya, giving protection to all the citizens. So he didn't punish that person. But in Krishna's Leela, the same person appeared as the washerman. He was actually doing laundry services and providing wonderful clothes to Kamsa. But naturally, he was punished by Krishna. Krishna chopped up his body and then he gave liberation. So this pastime, when it was told by the local Brahmanas at Rameswaram temple, Lord Chaitanya is none other than Lord Krishna. He knew everything. But again, he needed evidence in order to show this to the Brahmana at Madurai, Ramadasa Vipra. Then he told, oh, Brahmanas, you are wonderfully narrating this divine pastime. So where did you get all this information? They told, see, we are reading from Kurma Purana. And Lord Chaitanya saw that, and Kurma Purana is one of the oldest Purana. And so generally all these information are written in the golden palm leaf. So it was very old. So Lord Chaitanya asked permission from those assembled Brahmanas. I will make a copy of it and I want to have the original manuscript. And then he made a copy and then he tore those pages which was depicting this pastime of Ravana actually did not kidnap real Sita, and it was only Maya Sita. And during the fire test, Agnidev happened to deliver this real Sita to the divine hands of Lord Ramachandra. Then Lord Chaitanya came from Rameswaram to Madurai back again. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, I know in 2 instances where Lord Chaitanya had a U-turn. U-turn means when Lord Chaitanya visits a place, he gives darshan and then blessings, mercy, and then he don't face back or return back. Then he goes to new places. But in 2 instances, one is at Kurma Kshetra and Madurai, Lord Chaitanya returned back. In Kurmakshetra, we can know that Lord Chaitanya, after giving blessings to Kurma Brahmana, when he left Kurmakshetra, then there was a Brahmana called as Vasudeva Vipra, who was suffering from leprosy. And hearing the news that Lord Chaitanya left Kurmakshetra, so he started to cry. Understanding his mood, he again came back, embraced that wonderful devotee, Vasudeva Vipra. He was delivered from leprosy. So he had a U-turn, walking for a certain distance and coming back. So here, almost from Madurai to Rameswaram, it's almost like around 170 to 200 kilometers. Lord Chaitanya, he personally came by walking back to Madurai in order to deliver this wonderful manuscript of Kurma Purana, mentioning these divine pastimes of Ramachandra and Sita Devi, fire test. Hey Brahmana, I have brought you the original manuscript of Kurma Puran. You can see, I already told you, have faith in my words, but still you need some evidence. So I brought you this evidence. And seeing that Ramadas Vipra, he jumped in joy and danced in ecstasy. And he was able to remember, last time when you came to Madurai for the first time, I couldn't receive you properly and I gave you a late lunch. Today, I am not going to miss that wonderful opportunity. Now I am going to give you a wonderful dinner prasad. So in that way, we can see that whatever the divine internal feelings are there in our heart, that is taken into account, and Lord Krishna, Lord Chaitanya, at the appropriate time, they reciprocate it. So we have to understand from this divine pastime. So here, you can see this wonderful holy river, Vaigai river. In Chaitanya Charitamrit, it is called as a Kritamala. Kritamala means very, very holy. And you can see how people, in a very jubilant, happy mood, they are taking wonderful dip of this holy river, Vaigai Nadi, Kritamala river. Lord Chaitanya took bath here. Lord Chaitanya took bath in this wonderful river, and this Vaigai, which flows through the Madurai, it is very, very enchanting. And especially during the rainy season, when it is completely flooded with water, the scenery becomes so divine and sublime. And the Matsya Avatara pastimes also happened at Madurai. We all know the Dasa Avatara pastime, the Matsya Avatar, Kurma Avatar. So Matsya Avatara, Lord incarnated here in the fish form. And we all know that when Lord appears either in a fish or tortoise or in even animal species like Varahadev, he used to protect the devotees and develops the loving relationship in the human form. So this divine incarnation, Matsya Avatar, he descended primarily in order to accept the loving reciprocation feeling of the king, Satyavrata. Satyavrata, when he was bathing in this holy river, Vaigai, Kritamala, so at that time, in his two inner palm, there was a small fish. Then seeing naturally a fish is fond of water, so then he immediately let the fish inside the water. And then the fish started to speak to that king. "O king, I took shelter of you, but you again drowned me in the water. You know there is a danger in this river. There are many big fish which may swallow me up. So I am taking your divine shelter. So you please protect me." Then Satyavrata took this fish. He went to his palace. He kept the fish in a big water pot. And after the dead end of the night, the fish completely occupied the full space of the water pot. And in the early morning, he could see that the fish couldn't swim freely. Then the fish told that, see, this water pot cannot accommodate me. So I need a still more, much bigger space. Then he made a still big water pot. And in one muhurta, that fish again expanded in a big form, and that water pot was also not accommodating it. Then King Satyavrata thought that I have to do something special. Then he took that fish and then put it in a pond. And the fish again expanded fully. That pond was not sufficient enough. Then King Satyavrata put it in a lake bigger than a pond. And the fish also expanded in such a way that the lake could not accommodate the fish. Then he immediately thought that, oh, I have to make some special arrangement. Then he immediately took the fish and then drowned it in the ocean. And immediately the fish took the size of 800 miles. Then he could understand. Then he could identify, oh, this is not ordinary fish. It is divine Lord. Then he started to speak to the fish. What is your special pastime? What do you want to achieve through this divine pastime? And we all know that that it's a big pastime how Satyavrata got delivered, and the divine loving relationship between the Matsya Avatar and Satyavrata. And there was a heavy flood. Completely, the city got drowned. But Matsya Avatara, it gave a divine instruction to the king. A boat will be anchored to the horn, and I will personally bring that boat. And along with your followers, you can board that boat, and in that way, when there is inundation of water, I am saving you. So all these divine pastimes happened through the agency of this holy river, Kritamala. Now it is called as river Vaigai. So such are the divine pastimes that happened in this holy river. You can see how Lord Chaitanya came here, took bath, and then this Matsya Avatar pastime. And when Lord Chaitanya, he came to Madurai, he also happened to have wonderful darshan with his wonderful associate Madhavendra Puri, that we will be seeing when we are having a darshan of Kallalagar temple. This famous city, Madurai, is also visited by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and his Guru, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. When Srila Prabhupada visited Madurai, he happened to visit the home of the famous medical salesman Muthuchami Chettiar, because at that time Srila Prabhupada was engaged in pharmaceutical business. And then he also conveyed his message that this Gita Upanishad, it has to be printed for mass distribution. So at that time he also told that I will introduce you to Alagappa Chettiar. Like in North India, how Birla is famous, in South, Alagappa Chettiar is famous. But it didn't get materialized. But certainly, in the holy city of Madurai, Srila Prabhupada, he kept his divine lotus feet, blessing this place. And Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he also visited Madurai. In the year 1904, so he had a complete visit of all Lord Chaitanya's pastime places at South India, visiting Kurmakshetra, Simhachalam, Rajamundri, Ahobilam, Tirupati, then Kanchipuram. Then he also visited Vridachalam, to Chidambaram, to Kumbakonam, Srirangam, and Madurai. And all the information, whatever we get from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Because at the time when Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur visited, he collected all the information details of the local places. And in the Gaudiya Abhidan, I mean the platform in which all the information about Mahaprabhu is stored there. All these information are there, because I was little bit surprised, because the most of the district name which Srila Prabhupada has mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita, they are all older known district at Tamil Nadu. But we could understand how this information was known to our acharyas. So when Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he visited all these holy divine pastime places, he collected all the information, in which district, in which place, how many kilometers far off, what is the Moolavar deity, and what is the Utsava deity, and what was the pastime that was enacted there, and how the local traditional festival is happening place. And when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur visited Sri Perumbudur, the holy birthplace of Ramanujacharya, he collected all the information about the Vaishnava Tridanda Sannyasa. So we can see all this information, and all this information, whatever Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur collected in the year 1905, that is all being recorded in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he also did this wonderful seva of establishing the lotus foot to all the holy temples he visited. And that was also one of the wonderful seva which he had done to this Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya movement. So we can easily understand how by the mercy of our acharyas, these places get so much divine mercy and blessings. So we have seen about this Madurai Meenakshi Amman temple. Now we are seeing the famous Alagar Koyal, which is also located at Madurai. And this Alagar Koyal, it is also called as Solai Malai. It is also known by the hill called as Rishabha Parvata Hill. The hill which you are seeing now, this is the spot where Paramananda Puri stayed here during Chaturmasya, and at that time Lord Chaitanya stayed at Srirangam. So wonderful darshan of this Alagar Koyal. You can see the beautiful hill, and there is a Nupura Ganga. In the Trivikarma form, when Trivikarma raised his foot up to measure this world, so for the upper foot, there was a Pada Puja done by Brahmaji, and using the water sprinkled from his Kamandalu. It is none other than Ganga, and also the anklet of Trivikarma. So that's why it touched the anklet of Trivikarma, and some drops of water, it fell here, and still we can see a small waterfall during rainy season flowing here, and that place is called as Nupura Ganga. We know that actually Ganga is flowing in all the three planetary systems, in the upper planetary system, in earthly planet, and also in the lower planetary system. So some drops of divine water that has fallen here, that is still flowing as Nupura Ganga. Wonderful scenery, natural scenery. Any person who goes here and takes darshan of this Alagar temple, Alagar means in Tamil they used to call as very, very beautiful. Sundara Rajan. Sundara Rajan means the most beautiful, enchanting form. Not only the temple, not only the architecture, but also the surroundings. And in this Alagar temple, this is the famous Kal Alagar deity, Kal Alagar. So this deity which you are seeing is the Utsava deity. It is made of pure gold. This Utsava deity, it's almost like 12 miles from Madurai. This deity, in the month of April, the local tradition, they call it as Chitrai month. Chitrai month, April month. On the full Paurnami day, this wonderful deity, Utsava deity, Kal Alagar, he used to start from Alagar Koyal, which we saw earlier. coming on the way, stopping in various places, and then entering into the river of Kritamala, Vaigai. This is a holy river. And people here gather in lakhs and lakhs to witness this divine holy festival. It's a famous festival in Tamil Nadu. Famous festival. It's a local holiday announced by the Tamil Nadu government. Kallaragar festival. When Kallaragar, he enters into the river Kirtamala, Vaigai Nadi, in the horse Vahana. It is so wonderful that people like to have this divine pastime, and that festival is also called as Yedir Sevai. Yedir Sevai means when Lord Kallaragar, he is entering into the river, the people assemble in several lakhs, receiving him, giving him all sort of honor, and then they also like to take dip in this holy river along with Kallaragar. So wonderful is this festival, and it completely enchants the mind of all the audience who participate in this festival, Kallaragar. And when this festival takes place for almost 10 days, continuously, all the local newspaper, they used to portray the picture of Kallaragar entering into the holy river of Kritamala, Vaigai Nadi, and it's a pure gold. And we can also see that how during this Kallaragar festival, people, they enjoy this festival as their local home festival in order to glorify the Lord. Everyone's assembled here, and they just want to have the divine vision of Kallaragar. Kallaragar is very, very famous. And this is the place, Kallaragar, where Lord Chaitanya, during his stay at Srirangam, he came to Madurai, and where the deity resides, that place is called as Rishabha Parvata Hill, or also called as Sholai Malai, where Paramananda Puri stayed there. And Lord Chaitanya stayed here continuously for 3 days, discussing the various pastimes of Lord Krishna with Paramananda Puri. So we can see how people are in a jubilant mood, splashing water with one another, and then enjoying, completely absorbed. It's a biggest festival in Madurai, Kallaragar festival. And this Alagar Koil, you can see the nice, wonderful, beautiful, natural scenery surrounded by mountain. This is the Rishabha mountain. When Lord Chaitanya came here, he took darshan of this deity, and he happened to go to the mountain spot where at the time Paramananda Puri was staying there in a small cottage. For 3 days, Lord Chaitanya stayed here, discussed the pastime. Then Lord Chaitanya told, I am going to Setu Banda, Rameshwaram. After that, I am planning to go to Jagannath Puri. So you please come to Jagannath Puri. We will all stay together and we can enjoy the divine pastimes. And Lord Chaitanya, after taking darshan of Paramananda Puri here at Alagar Kovil, because it is mentioned as Rishabha Hill. Rishabha Hill means this Alagar Koil. Then Lord Chaitanya took permission of Paramananda Puri, went to Rameshwaram. Then he went back to Jagannath Puri. Then Paramananda Puri, after his visit of South India Yatra, then he went to Jagannath Puri, took darshan of Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra Devi, Sudarshan Chakra, then went to Bengal, took a bath at Ganga. Then he again came back to Jagannath Puri. When Lord Chaitanya heard the news that Paramananda Puri had returned from his South Indian visit to Jagannath Puri, then he was staying in a mutt. That place is now called as Baseli Sahi Police Station, near to the horse entrance of, which is south entrance of Lord Jagannath Temple. And in that place, there was a well. It was completely contaminated by muddy water. And Lord Chaitanya, immediately seeing that muddy water, he immediately prayed to Lord Jagannath to bring Ganga into this holy well, because he wanted to give wonderful facility to Paramananda Puri. Then by the divine prayers of Lord Chaitanya, immediately the devotees could realize the well was completely crystal clear. And Lord Chaitanya ensured the water which he used to drink and then bath, it was completely Ganga. And here also we can see that when Paramananda Puri stayed here, a small waterfall used to roll down here, and that name is also called as Nupur Ganga. So Lord Chaitanya ensured wherever there is Paramananda Puri, the holy river Ganga is present. And the river Vaigai is also non-different from Ganga. And here also we can see the droplets which has washed the dust of the lotus feet of Trivikarma, touching his anklets, fell down here. And the same Paramananda Puri, when he came to Madurai, came from Madurai to Jagannath Puri, he also had the wonderful facility of daily drinking and bathing at Ganga. So such is the divine pastimes of Lord Chaitanya with Paramananda Puri. He is none other than Uddhava in Krishna Leela. Uddhava, when he went as a messenger to Vrindavan, he was completely overlapped with the gopis' love for Krishna. That is Madhurya Rasa. Generally, Uddhava had a loving relationship with Krishna in Shakya Bhav. After meeting Gopya, with the gopis, it was overlapped with the Madhurya Rasa, that is technically called as Rasabash. So Lord Krishna told that in Kali Yuga, I am supposed to appear as Lord Chaitanya to take this mood of the gopis. But now, even before me taking this mood, now you are completely immersed in the mood of the gopi. And that's why when Lord Chaitanya took sannyas at Katwa from Keshava Bharati, he took sannyas from Keshava Bharati, but he accepted Danda from Paramananda Puri. So he could see his Guru Madhavendra Puri through Paramananda Puri, and also signifying you have already accepted Gopi Bhav after conversing with the gopis when they were intensely separated, when you went there to Vrindavan as a messenger. Now I am accepting the same mood of the gopis which you have accepted. So that is the significance. And this Alagar Kovil, it is so famous for the deities. Here actually the Lord is worshipped by 4 goddesses. One is Sundaravalli, then Sri Devi, Bhudevi, and also Andal. There is also a famous pastime here where Andal, who took birth at Srivilliputtur, came here to Kalladagar temple along with his father Periyalvar and took darshan of this deity. And here in South India, in all Sri Vaishnava temple, there is a small shrine of Andal. Andal is the most admired, adorable, worshipable deity in all South Indian temple. We can see that pastime, how Andal was so much dedicated to Ranganath, and she desired to marry Ranganath. She actually came here. From Madurai, Srivilliputtur is approximately 74-75 kilometers. Andal, who is one of the 12 Alvar, she came here along with his father Periyalvar. She prayed here that I wanted to marry only Lord Ranganathji, and she offered to give Akkara Vadasal. Akkara Vadasal means we can say with the jaggery moong dal, some sweet condensed product it is. But she decided to offer. And after she married Ranganath, in the Leela, it is mentioned that when Andal went to Srirangam, she merged into the divine form of Ranganathji. So when Ramanujacharya came here to this Kalladagar temple, this wonderful temple, he offered that Akkara Vadasal, the wonderful jaggery made of moong dal, on behalf of Andal to this wonderful deity, Kallalagar. So we can see many more pastimes here. Ramanujacharya came, and all these divine temples, they are all visited by the famous Alvar. They used to sing the Pasurams, comprising the glories of Lord Narayana. And we can also see how Andal also came here, Lord Chaitanya came here, Paramananda Puri stayed here. And generally, the deity is worshipped with the two consorts, Sri Devi, Bhudevi. But here, the Lordship is worshipped with four consorts, Sundaravali, Sri Devi, Bhudevi, and also the fourth one is Andal. So this is the wonderful Alagar Koyal view. Then near to Madurai Meenakshi Amman temple is the famous Koodal Alagar deity. Koodal Alagar. Koodal means assembly of saints and the scholars. And when they happen to meet in one place, that is called as Koodal Alagar. This Koodal Alagar is a very famous temple in Madurai. And Vishnu Chitta. Vishnu Chitta is the other name of Periyalvar, who is none other than the father of Andal. There used to be a debate because those times, here mostly in South India, there were strong followers of Shiva and strong followers of Vishnu. The famous Vishnu followers are known by the name Alvar. And the strong followers of Shiva, the 63 Nayanmar, they are also very famous. They also have their own Siddhanta strong. So naturally, the debate used to happen. And even the debate goes in a very ferocious mood that they want to suppress the opponents. So when there was a huge debate happening here, the king, because mostly the Madurai city was ruled by Pandya king. So the Pandya king then called for Periyalvar because he was only residing nearby, 75 kilometers from Madurai. So he came here, and then after hearing the debate, he resolved the dispute happening between the two parties. And immediately what happened, there was a long pole, and at the top of the pole, there was a gold coin which was enwrapped in a fine cloth. Immediately after Periyalvar, he resolved the dispute. Then immediately that gold coin bag, it fell into the hand of Periyalvar. Then immediately they could understand that he is a wonderful personality, Periyalvar. He is not an ordinary person. They are very much intimate associates of the Lord. Then the king told, I have to honor this wonderful personality, Periyalvar. Then he made a huge elephant procession in which Periyalvar was seated above the elephant. And when he was seated above the elephant, the Lord, through his Garuda Vahana, Garuda carrier, he came in front. And Periyalvar, after seeing the Garuda Vahana and also his worshipable Lord seated there, then he started to praise the Lord with the famous Pallandu Pallandu. Here in South India, this Nalayira Divya Prabandham is very famous. 4,000 verses, initially composed by Nadamuni and sung by all the Sri Vaishnavas. They like to hear this 4,000 verses, Nalayira Divya Prabandham being sung in all wonderful occasions. So Periyalvar was honored by the king, and the famous song Pallandu Pallandu was again sung by this wonderful Alvar, Periyalvar, at this holy place called as Koodal Alagar. So you can see how beautifully this Koodal Alagar deity, he takes this opulent position, always worshipped by Sri Devi, Bhudevi, wonderful temple, stone-built temple, The deities are so attractive, located very near to the temple of Madurai Meenakshi Amman temple. And this Kudal Alagar. Kudal means assembly and Alagar means most beautiful. That deity also we can have wonderful darshan. And next, today we will be also having darshan of this wonderful Srivilliputtur. Srivilliputtur is the birthplace of Andal. Andal is one of the 12 Alvar, and the only female Alvar. So intensely devoted to the worship of Lord Ranganath Ji. And the Sthala Puran says that Andal, she is none other than Mother Earth. And one of the service Mother Earth, the Bhudevi, she does to the Lordship in the ocean milk is that she used to make a wonderful, beautiful flower garland to her husband. And the Lord told, you have to actually garland me with beautiful verses. So in order to fulfill that, Mother Earth appeared here as Andal at this holy place of Srivilliputtur. Her birth is not ordinary. It was a divine birth. Like we call it as Suyambhu. She was self-manifested. Periyalvar, who was worshipping the Lordship at Srivilliputtur, he happened to see a wonderful baby lying in the garden of Tulasi garden. He was not married, Periyalvar. He was completely devoted and dedicated to the worship of Ranganath Ji. But he took this divine child as the gift given by the Lord. And this child is so beautiful. Whoever sees this divine child, they get completely enchanted because she is none other than Bhudevi. And Bhudevi wanted to give the service of bringing her up at the lotus feet of Periyalvar. He was an ardent devotee. So in that way, we can see how Andal, she was nicely brought up. Periyalvar, he used to say all the stories of Krishna, the philosophy, the Siddhanta. She was nicely nourished, taken care. And Periyalvar was very, very happy taking the association of Andal. And Srivilliputtur, you can see the biggest Gopuram of Srivilliputtur. It is almost like 196 feet high. And the highest Gopuram, Raja Gopuram in Tamil Nadu is Srirangam temple, which is almost like 236 feet high. And the Tamil Nadu symbol, hallmark, it has the Raja Gopuram symbol of Srivilliputtur. So like how the Raja Gopuram is very high, the biggest chariot in Tamil Nadu, why not? In India, the highest chariot is Srivilliputtur chariot. It has 9 platforms. And here also we can see that all the devotees throng in several lakhs to attend the chariot festival of Srivilliputtur. Ranga Mannar and Andal, they used to ride in this wonderful divine chariot, giving darshan to the people, and several lakhs of people attend this yearly festival of chariot. It is very famous in Tamil Nadu. And here we can see Ranganath Ji sleeping in the lap of Andal. Generally, we can see that Ranganath Ji sleeps in Anantasesh, but here he wants to take shelter on the lap of Andal. So the divine pastimes goes on like this. Here you can have a wonderful darshan of the chariot. It's not only in Tamil Nadu, even in India, even in the world. The highest rath is the famous Srivilliputtur chariot. Andal, whenever Periyalvar, his father, he used to nicely string a wonderful garland and he used to keep it in a basket before being offered to the Lordship. And Andal, she used to take that garland, she used to put it in her neck, and then she used to see the beauty in front of the mirror. And then she used to think that, oh, am I a proper match to my Lordship? See how wonderful I am with this wonderful garland. And with this wonderful garland, how beautiful I am. And I hope that I am a proper match to Ranganathji. And in this way, all the flower garland, before going to the Lordship, it was personally worn by Andal. And one day, Periyalvar happened to see this. Then he was shocked. Then he started to scold Andal. One day it happened, Periyalvar, when he gave this divine garland to the Pujari noticed a hair on that, a big hair. Then he could understand, yes, this is one of the activity done by my daughter. Then he came because the Pujari was strict and adamant that it cannot be offered to the Lord. And he scolded to Andal saying that you should not do like this. The first offering should be to the Lord. Then only we should accept that offering. And then he was dejected. And later, he gave again a new garland personally strung by him to the Pujari. And when the Pujari made an attempt to put it to the Lord, every time he used to fell down and the flower garland used to get scattered. And he was completely upset and it was a total failure on that day. And on that day, night dream, the Lord appeared at Periyalvar and he told that, why you didn't offer the garland which was personally weared by Andal? Not only is that garland very fragrant, but the bodily scent of Andal, it enchants me and attracts me. I am completely enchanted by that. So you have to ensure that before offering this garland, it is personally weared by Andal and it has to be offered me later. So then Periyalvar, he woke up from the dream, and then in the dream, in the midst of the night, he started to cry. Then he also started to think about the wonderful divine qualities of Andal. And then she also grew up with such loving reciprocation mood along with Ranganathji. Here you can see the darshan of Vadapatra Sai. So you are having wonderful darshan of this Vadapatra Sai. Ranganathji, he is very much attracted and enchanted by the divine romantic loving feelings of Andal. Andal, she used to personally wear the garland and then later only offer it to the Lordship. In front of the mirror, she used to come, see her beauty, and she used to check whether she is the right match for the Lord. And this Villiputtur, there was two famous persons called as Villi and Puttan. They were residing here. Puttan was killed by the tiger. So Villi was completely devastated. And when he fell asleep, the Lordship appeared in his dream saying that you have to worship me. You no need to fear or worry for your brother. He will be made alive back. That's why this place is called as Villiputtur. This place was completely surrounded by snake mounds. And since Andal took birth here, this place is called as Srivilliputtur. And we all know that in all South Indian temple, in all famous Divya Desam temple, there will be a separate enshrine altar for Andal. And specifically in this month of December, everyone here used to recite the famous Tirupavai, 30 verses. And in the Vraja Gopika mood, like the damsels of Vrindavan, Andal, she also used to think her and follow in their footsteps, thinking of her dear lover, Krishna. And this 30 verses in the month of December, the local, they used to call it as Margari month. Everyone used to chant this famous Tirupavai. Apart from Tirupavai, Andal, she also used to recite the famous Nachiyar Tiruvayimozhi, 143 verses. The Nachiyar Tiruvayimozhi, it is generally performed with Abhinayangal. What is Abhinayangal? Abhinayangal means they will recite the verse and there will be a music accordingly. They used to dance. They used to give explanation to the verses and everything. Only those who are completely conversant on that with many art. Because generally to exhibit this Abhinayangal, it generally takes 20 years to get trained. And in Srivilliputturu temple, that Abhinayam is still happening. And it is also happening at Srirangam. This Abhinayangal, the famous Nachiyar Tiruvayimozhi. So we can see how Andal was completely attracted to Ranganathji and she wanted to marry only Krishna. Because she told clearly to her father, I cannot marry any mortal man. And when she expressed her desire, it was almost like a 15-year-old girl following in the footsteps of Vraja Gopis. So at that time, Periyalvar, he used to wonder how to marry his daughter because she was very adamant that I cannot marry any mortal. So at that time, Periyalvar, so you can also see the wonderful Murti of Periyalvar, who lovingly brought this wonderful, beautiful Mother Earth, who appeared in Srivilliputturu as Andal. Daily she used to wear the garland, see herself before a mirror. She used to compare herself whether she is the right match for Krishna. This happened for many days. One day when his father from the back, Periyalvar, happened to notice this incident, he became annoyed and then he scolded. And we know that in the dream, the Lord came and then told that, no. Only the garland personally weared by Andal should be offered to me because that garland is carrying the aroma of the fragrance of the bodily beauty of Andal. So it is a famous song here. Sudi Kodutha, Malar Malai, they used to say. It was personally weared by Andal, and then out of love, Krishna accepts. Krishna accepts here in Srivilliputturu as Vadabhadra Sai. And Periyalvar deity also you can have nice, wonderful darshan. He is not an ordinary personality. He is a great Acharya. Andal, she was one of the 12 Alvar, and Periyalvar, he is also one of the 12 Alvar. And one Alvar, Andal, took birth as daughter of this famous Alvar, Periyalvar. So we can find from this incident how closely and intimately these two Alvar, they did wonderful service at Srivilliputturu temple. The Andal marriage at the age of 15, she conveyed it to her father that at the age of 15, Andal conveyed to her father, I will marry only Ranganathji. Then there was a divine vision in the dream of Periyalvar, where he could have darshan of Ranganathji appearing, and the same Ranganathji appeared to the priest of Srirangam temple. Now you make arrangement. My wonderful devotee, Andal, is coming toward my kingdom here. And at Srivilliputturu, there was a wonderful divine vision of Lordship appearing in the dream of Periyalvar, saying that you have to bring your daughter Andal by a palanquin, and I will make all the arrangements there. So he was completely ecstatic. And Andal, she was personally carried by the palanquin after reaching Srirangam temple. Just after reaching the premises where Ranganathji is present, Lord Ranganath, she immediately jumped from the palanquin and she immediately rushed towards the Lord, like how a river rushes itself towards the sea. And she completely merged into the deity and disappeared. And already she expressed her desire to marry the lordship, and it fulfilled. But she made an attempt to offer Akkara Vadasal at Kallalagar temple. So this desire of Andal was later, on behalf of Andal, it was executed by Ramanujacharya. So we can find in this divine pastime how Periyalvar and how Tirupana Alvar, who was coming from Panar community, and you can see here how Andal, and then this Kulasegar Alvar, he was actually a king who ruled the Madurai, we can say. And then Tirumangai Alvar, he was actually a highway robber. Then he changed himself into a very pure devotee. Tirumalisai Alvar. And then many Alvar pastimes we can see. They actually preach this wonderful doctrine of Vaishnava Siddhanta all over the South India. And we can see how the Sri Vaishnava, it actually flourished under the divine blessings of this 12 Alvar. And Andal is famous for Nachiyar Tirumoli, and Andal is also famous for her Tirupavai songs, which is generally sung during the famous December month, Margazhi month. So, so many pastimes have happened here. By taking darshan of these holy places, we can definitely imbibe the mood of Andal. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Gopi Bhartu Pada Kamalayor Dasa Dasanu Dasa. So Andal here was exactly following the footsteps of the gopis. We can directly see how she desired only to take a complete shelter, surrender, and giving exclusive service only to the Lordship. So Periyalvar is a famous devotee, and Andal is a famous, and Srivilliputtur is famous for the Rajagopuram temple, and Rangamannar and Andal, they used to ride in the yearly chariot festival. And by the divine blessings, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu have appeared in this holy land of Bharatavarsha in Navadip to give this mood through this chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So by this divine pastime, we are certainly fortunate getting the blessings of these wonderful opportunities of taking a wonderful visit. And by this way, I am sure that we can imbibe this mood, and we can nicely make a good, strong platform in our spiritual life. So we have seen today the famous Madurai Meenakshi Amman temple. Madurai Meenakshi Amman Mandir ki jai. Then we also had darshan of Kallalagar temple, where Lord Chaitanya resided there for 3 days with Paramananda Puri. Kallalagar Koyil ki jai. Then we also had a darshan of river Kirtamala, Vaigai Nadi, where Kallalagar used to enter, and Lord Chaitanya also bathed there. Vaigai Nadi, Kirtamala Nadi ki jai. Then we also had a darshan of Kudalalagar temple, where Periyalvar was honored singing the wonderful Nalayira Divya Prabandham. Kudalalagar ki jai. Then finally, we also had wonderful darshan of this famous Srivilliputtur Andal temple. Srivilliputtur ki jai, Andal ki jai, Periyalvar ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hari 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 Bol.
RG Media YouTube channel. Like, share, subscribe.